recognize the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Clyde, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To follow up on Representative Miller-Meek's line of questioning, these are for Secretary Mayorkas. Mr. Secretary, the last time you testified before the committee, you admitted to this committee that your agency had released migrants who have tested positive for COVID-19. Since then, multiple reports have indicated that thousands of COVID positive migrants have been released from DHS custody. In addition, the DHS Office of Inspector General released a report highlighting that your department has failed to take sufficient COVID-19 preventative measures at the border, which puts the DHS workforce and communities at unnecessary risk of being exposed to COVID-19. So to me, it is clear that your department either does not have a strategy or it is not effectively executing a strategy that will effectively mitigate the risks of COVID-19 at the border. Why is that?
Congressman, we do have a strategy. We concurred in the recommendations of the Inspector General's office. We are implementing those recommendations. We have made changes, and I can walk through the processes that we employ currently with respect to the different populations of migrants whom we are encountering at the border.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: if you say you have a strategy and you are implementing it, when will final implementation of the strategy be complete? Because, go ahead.
We are working as quickly as possible to implement the recommendations of the Office of Inspector General.
So what is the time frame? When will it be complete?
I will speak with our Chief Medical Officer and I will report back to you.
So you don't know?
I will speak with our Chief Medical Officer, Congressman, and I will.
Okay. So there's it's having a plan and executing the plan, all right, effectively executing the plan is very different. So it's pretty clear to me that the administration is not truly serious in addressing this matter. And I would like to remind the Secretary that according to your website, 11,125 CBP employees have tested positive for COVID-19 and 43 CBP agents have died from the virus so far. So I would urge my Democrat colleagues to join me in co-sponsoring my bill, HR 2076, the COVID-19 Border Protection Act. And this bill would require DHS, in consultation with HHS, to develop and submit a comprehensive plan of action to test and quarantine every migrant at the southern border and execute on that plan. And I would also, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit for the record an article dated August the 4th that highlights the number of positive COVID-19 cases. And it's titled, Texas Border City Says More Than 7,000 COVID Positive Migrants Released Since February, 1,500 in the last week alone. Mr. Chairman, I request unanimous consent for that to be added.
May I say something, Congressman, because you touch upon a very important subject that we have focused upon, and that is the health and well-being of our workforce. We launched Operation Vaccinate Our Workforce to make sure that vaccinations are accessible to our frontline personnel. That yielded a tremendous increase in the percentage of our workforce that was indeed vaccinated.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that information. So let me ask you this. How long will it take you to fully implement the MPP, a Migrant Protection Protocol program? Can you give me a time frame on that?
I cannot, because we are reliant on our partner, Mexico, to implement that program. That is a bilateral agreement. We are working with Mexico to implement that program.
So what I'm gathering then is that you have no idea when that program will be fully implemented.
Congressman, let me be unequivocally clear.
No, just tell me yes or no. You do or not?
We are seeking to implement that program and working to implement it in good faith as we are required to do.
I'm reclaiming my time. I have a question for Director Ray and Director Abizaid. Do we know the identity of the Kabul airport bomber? And do we have any information that this person was previously incarcerated at Bagram Air Base? If I could get each one of you, Director Ray and Director Abizaid, to comment on that, please.
I know we've identified certain individuals who we believe to be associated with the bombing. I'm not sure, as I sit here right now, whether that's information that is sufficiently developed to be able to share in a public hearing. So let me see if there's more information we can supply to you as a follow-up, because it may require classified setting. And then the second part is there may be an ongoing investigation that might be impacted. So let me look into that and we will circle back to you.
Okay, Director Abazi?
Yeah, I mean, I would associate myself with Director Ray's comments. We do have an assessment along those lines. The ability to share in this forum is something that I don't have information, but I absolutely will follow up and work with our colleagues in the FBI to provide the information, whether in a classified setting or if it's declassified after this hearing.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your commitment in that.
Gentleman's time has expired. Chair recognizes the young lady from Florida, Ms. Kamat, for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman.